Okay, I want to welcome everyone back to Driver the Wedge, our streaming and social media platform in which we discuss everything golf because this is the golf culture. The culture of golf is just not it's not just a game, but it's a way of life. Today I have a very distinguishable gentleman joining our platform to discuss golf, what the game has done for him, what the games mean to him, and how the game has contributed to his lifestyle and his overall development from a playing standpoint. Everyone, welcome Mr. Lewis Coplin. Lou, how you doing today?
I'm doing real well, Deval. It's a pleasure. Thanks for having me. This is an exciting time. This is a wonderful game, as you noted, and I'm looking forward to participating and responding to all the questions and comments and concerns.
Okay, it's a pleasure to have you. I've been knowing you for a long time. You've been one of the most consistent individuals from both a personal and professional standpoint that I've ever come in contact with. You helped introduce me and develop my passion for the game of golf. The way you have spearheaded our local community within our local community in the golf community. But we're going to get into those discussion points. So I just before we go into the interview, I just want to give you your flowers, as the young kids say, and really commend you for all your effort and your intentional effort, because everything you do is with a purpose. With regards to our golf community, the golf platform, and introducing others and bringing our fellowship within our
Wow.
local community together. Lou, you have been a godsend and a pillar of our community and of this golf culture. So thank you so very much.
Thank you very much for that introduction, Deval. That means an awful lot to me because this golf, as you know, is recreational,
Hmm.
and we've incorporated to a point because it's such a fun game and such a mental game and such a game of life that as you indicated, a way of life. So while we out and playing and having a good time and fellowshipping and being competitive, it's become who we are to a great extent. And I really enjoy the camaraderie, the fellowship, competition, and all that it entails.
Okay, thank you. So,
Hmm.
look, give us a little background on you. I'm gonna let you speak. I know pretty much, but inform our audience and our viewing supporters a little bit about yourself.
Okay, thank you. My name is Lewis Coplin. I'm a 37-year and a half administrator at Hudson Valley Community College. I started in the summer of 1986 out of Buffalo, New York. My background is in journalism, so I wrote a sports column at a Buffalo weekly newspaper in the Black community called The Challenger. And that's how my journalism career started. I majored in journalism at Fredonia State College. I graduated in 1982. Left Buffalo in 82 to come to the Capital District and worked at the Times Union for a brief stint from 1983 to 1985 or 6. And then took a position as a reporter at the Amsterdam Recorder, just west of Schenectady. Smaller newspaper, smaller
Hmm.
salary, but that's how you make your bones in that business. You start off
Hmm.
small. Then I left that industry of journalism and was seeking employment in public relations. And an opportunity presented itself at Hudson Valley Community College in the summer of 86 in the public relations office, was information services at the time. And from there, just so many blessings, man, and so many gifts and so many important people that God put in my path that created enormous opportunities for professional development, professional growth, community support, all the things that have made a life of work well lived and well worked, for that matter. I'm at the point now that my last day at Hudson Valley, full time at least, is next Friday, the 23rd of February. Decided to retire. I'll continue to do work part time in the community for the college, and it'll get me an opportunity to get back to my roots of grassroots work in our urban settings.
Mm.
And I so look forward to it because it's where I made my bones, so to speak, is where
Yes.
I cut my teeth, so to speak, working with our students, with our folks, and anyone for that matter. but certainly in the Albany's urban community. I'm from urban Buffalo, so the problems of most urban cities are identical, if not the same, just a different setting. So the work, and it comes so easy, man, because of intentionality, as you mentioned. You're basically extending yourself every day, and it's not even extension. It's passionate work, and if you can impact one person a day, that's called job well done in my book. And it feels really, really good to reach this plateau in life, and I'm looking forward to the next phase of life when it comes to work. But the golf piece, as you shared, as you indicated, I was introduced to the game of golf maybe 15, 16 years ago. Didn't understand it, didn't recognize it as a game of life, couldn't figure out why people were so passionate about trying to get this ball in a hole. It took too long. It was a white male dominant sport. It still is.
Yes.
But growing up, as we did in the neighborhood, regardless of what urban environment that we're from, golf was not the game of choice. Golf was not something we thought about doing.
And I always say, not to cut you off, Lou, but I always say there isn't no golf course on Martin Luther King Boulevard.
Exactly. Okay. Exactly. and that's well said. And it was for the rich and famous, and rich and not so famous, but it was certainly money. And Tiger Woods, yes, had a lot to do with our interests. And I say our, I mean Black men and Black people in general.
Yes.
But once you get out there, and you know this well as anyone, once you're out there in nature and walking the courses and having either a great time with some friends or by yourself or with people who are virtual strangers, it becomes one of the best times spent on a given afternoon or morning or however long it takes you to finish 9 or 18 holes. And the moment you hit that ball flush, as they say, that's when you know. Yes. You're either never going to come back or you'll be back the next day. That's how it hit me.
Okay, so so you started to segue into that. How did you actually get into the game? Like your first time, your introduction to the sport?
Well, one of the cats we played with, Sheldon Lee, he had been playing for a couple of years, and he kept harassing me almost. Come on, you got to come out and play. You got to come out and play. So I ended up getting a pair of used set of clubs. I forgot the name brand. There was several different name brands in that bag, and there's a little, you know how that is. There's a little Power 3 around the corner from my house, Colonial Acres, which is since shut down. And he would come by and say, "Lou, this go is right around the corner from your house." I said, "All right, man, come on." It was Sunday afternoon. I'm watching the game, and he kept coming by, dragging me out. And then again, I would go out. He was teaching me the basic fundamentals of the game. I couldn't figure it out. I was pulling out my driver on the Par 3. He said, "No, you don't want to pull that club." So I finally settled in, and I hit the ball, flush one time. And I said, "Okay, this feels good." It felt good because we know that feeling when we hit that ball flush.
Yes,
that nice rainbow up and down, and it's just like, wow, I can play this game. That said, I probably didn't hit it flush for another 2 years, but but the mindset automatically shifted on that first flushed hit. And when you have some type of competitive spirit, and we all do to some extent, you want to do it again. You want that feeling again. You want to perfect that or make that better.
Yes.
And that was really the first introduction to the game. I never thought that it would catch the way it has in terms of the passion for the game, but it's an obsession. It's becoming an obsession, and it feels really good.
So would you say it was at that moment? And this I like to ask this question, that was the moment where you was bit. Do you subscribe and believe in the term the golf bug? Bit by the golf bug? Absolutely. Was it at that particular point?
It was the particular point where I think I probably went out 1 or 2 times after that first flushed hit. And when I hit it again, I was out by myself, and I took my 7-iron Duval, lined up. I used to hold the club like a baseball bat back then. So I was all over the place. But I grabbed that 7-iron, and that ball was just beautifully hit. It was one of those blue sky days, so you had the white ball against the blue backdrop, and it just hit the green, and it didn't roll in, but it could have rolled in.
Yes.
And that's when I really, really knew that I'm going to work at getting better at this game. Started getting books, videos, DVDs, watching it on TV. I never thought I'd be watching, the PGA when the NBA playoffs was on. I was like, forget the playoffs.
Oh, wow.
I'm trying to figure out what's happening here.
Yes.
And but that's when it was about 2006, 2007, I would say. So that's when I knew that first and second time that I hit the ball flush, and those accurate hits, those flush hits were few and far between. But that's where the grind comes into play.
And you chasing that feeling.
You chasing it, man.
Yeah.
You want it. You want it. It's like I told one time I was playing with Mike Mentis and another brother who plays with us. I said, man, this is better than sex. And he said, come on, man. Come on, you're getting out of control here. I was brand new to the game then because it just felt so good being out there with friends, with fellas, or, by yourself. And I was really impressed once playing with an older couple. They're like 85, man. And they beat me real bad because they've been playing, most of their life, obviously.
Yes, really
that's right. So exactly. So that told me also that this is a game that you can play for a very, very long time.
Yes, that is true.
With family and friends. Yeah, so it's been good, man. That's the backdrop. That's the backdrop. Right.
So speaking of good, how would you say the game of golf has benefited you?
Great question. It's helped to slow me down. It's helped me to stay focused at work, at home, at things that really matter more. Because if you're serious about golf, and I mean, if you seriously want to get better, not even competitive with other cats, but just better your game, you have to put the time in. And you have to therefore balance the time because you can't go overboard with this new obsession. Any obsession is a bad obsession. So it taught me, I guess it filled a void also. It helped me to balance and do a better job of compartmentalizing things. Sometimes people get criticized for being compartmentalists. I'm one of those persons. So this gave me another compartment to pull that drawer out to play and do the grind and the practice. But when that time was over, I would close that drawer and then work around the house and do something with the spouse and work on some stuff with work related, do something with the kids who are now all adults. But that's not I don't have a perfect system for that. That's a work in progress all the time.
Okay.
All the time. And golf, therefore, is a work in progress all the time because we never quite get it.
Yes.
We're just trying to get better. So I'm trying to get my golf game better, but I'm also trying to get that time with spouse better. The time doing some spiritual meditation better. Time connecting with kids and family better. Things at work better. So it's a nice filler of a void that I sensed was happening. And now 15 years later, as I approach retirement, it's the perfect combination of staying healthy, staying competitive, staying recreational, staying social, while I maintain the other compartments of family life and kids and all those other important relationships.
Okay, great point. And I want to echo those same sentiments as far as the discipline that golf is almost like a microcosm of life, the sport.
Absolutely.
And what it does for you in terms of your extended dispositions regarding to your social, physical, spiritual, recreational, and your family setting. Golf can provide the same type of platform for you to improve in those particular areas as you do on the course when you apply yourself.
Absolutely.
So that is true. How would you say? What would you say has been the biggest step in terms of your golf game improvement from the point of where you started to where you are in your game now?
Pre-shot routine. I mean, we hear about that all the time, and everybody has their unique style as they approach the box, approach the ball. Mine is unique to me, And every shot off the box or in the fairway or even putting or chipping onto the green, I have this standard routine where if I deviate from it, then that anything can happen. But what has helped me to do, Duval, is, and we know this is a very humbling game, but my pre-shot routine allows me to forget about that last bad shot.
Yes.
But it also helps me to forget about that fairly decent shot because the game is so unpredictable. And then the moment we get caught up or frustrated with a bad shot, we're doomed. The moment we get caught up with a great shot, we're doomed. So the pre-shot routine for me has helped settle me down. It's helped me focus on the ball. It doesn't always work, but it's helped.
Okay.
It helps me say, okay, I'm still in a good flow here. But it's also helped, like when you have a series of bad holes, it's brought me back to finish strong or finish in the hunt, if you will. Because golf is like that, man. I mean, we play. You can have 3 or 4 bad holes in a row, and you're thinking this is going to be a wasted afternoon. But it teaches you to say the pre-shot routine and the mind game to let that go, let that go. And that's the life piece.
Yes.
Things could be happening at home or at work or whatever, money, whatever the case. That was then, even though it was a second ago or last week, and this is now. How am I going to do better on this minute or this week or this month or this semester or this year? And that's one of the incredible values of wanting to play this game better. It teaches you to leave it behind you. Leave that great shot off the box behind you because you still got a second or third shot to make. Right?
It's the one, and I always make this, and I make this statement a lot. It's the one sport where you can go from orgasmic to suicidal in a matter of seconds.
Well said. Well said. And we know cats who are like that. They go ballistic.
Yeah.
They go, and it takes away all of your pride, because if you're a grinder, you see them all week long. I've been grinding and this stuff's been working.
Yes.
Then you get out there competitively and something falls apart, and guys fall apart. But that's where that life lesson piece comes into play. How much am I going to allow this to ruin? It's like the Bills in football, man. The Bills, that's my team.
Yes.
When the Bills used to lose, even to this day, and they lose, used to ruin my week. Okay, but golf has helped me become a better Bills fan. Yeah, see, I was okay. I mean, they went wide right again, right?
Yeah.
I mean, fast forward to go back 33 years, we went wide right against the Giants, lost that Super Bowl. So to lose it, to miss moving forward this playoff season, when I was fine. I said, I'm fine with this one. I've been there, done that with the Bills, but golf kicked in. Like, okay, forget about it. We missed it. Next year, yes. Next year, the Bills is like the next shot. But it teaches. The game has taught me to say, don't take it too serious, because 1, you can't. 2, you have no control over it. 3, move on.
Some people would say you have built up scar tissue. I would say you have built up and reinforced resolve. Right. It's different.
It's different.
It is a difference.
It's a difference.
Well, let me ask you, what is the best course you've played?
Best in terms of ease or best in terms of challenge?
Layout. That when you walked on, how the course was designed, how you played it, that fits your eye, manicure. Just when you, in comparison, because we grew up on, like you said, the inner city, and some of our first courses were probably muni courses. We've had the ability, I guess, in our travel to play some better country clubs, or or what one would consider a higher in course.
I would say, because most of the courses I've played are local courses, local public courses. And part of my retirement plan is to do some traveling and play some golf at different places across the globe. But locally, I like Saratoga Lake. I like Saratoga Lake because, one, it really, really challenges you. And for my skill set, I've played it relatively well.
Okay.
So when I come off of Saratoga Lake, and playing well for me is breaking 100. So when I come off of Saratoga Lake, and I've broken 100. I'm saying I played this course and the holes, the most challenging of which, relatively well because I'm under 100. I
Okay.
think Fairways is a great course also in terms of its layout, the texture of the fairways. I mean, it's a beautiful course.
Yes.
And there's a couple of challenging holes that can throw you completely, throw your game completely off kilter, so to speak. But I
Yes.
like the layout, and it gives you a chance to bounce back within the front nine or the back nine or wherever you're struggling.
Yes.
It gives you an opportunity to make a comeback before it's too late, before you get that 18th hole. So I like fairways. I like Saratoga Lake. I like Sycamore because it's two different courses once you cross that road.
That is true.
It's not the best kept. Under new management, it's improved. But that front nine, you got to score on the front nine. You got to score. And if you're scoring, if you have a bad front nine, then you have to have a hell of a back nine to make it respectable. And sometimes it just doesn't happen that way. But I like the way it's set up because it's really a setup course.
Yes.
Because the front is so flat. Then once you cross Tobacco Road, as I call it, anything can happen, man.
That is true. Where have you traveled, or in terms of, I know you said you're looking to do a little bit more traveling in now in your retirement, but have you traveled anywhere and played any courses outside of the area? And if so, where?
I played Atlanta. I have a sister down in Atlanta, and that was about 10 years ago.
Okay.
And I forgot the name of the course. And we went to Charlotte, myself, Lee, JD, and Lee has a buddy he went to high school with in Albany who lives in Charlotte. And he hooked us up really, really nice with 3 days of golf, took care of the hotel. We ate each night, we drank each night, played 2 rounds of golf, all 3 days that we were there. Our bodies were sore because it was like August of the year. Oh no, it was June of the year. So in Carolina, it started to get hot, obviously. But that was probably those are the only 2 locations I've been. Charlotte, and I played out in Buffalo also when I'm in Buffalo.
Oh, okay.
But the courses out in Western New York are all flat. There's no real terrain out in Western New York, so you can score well in Buffalo. Trust me.
Okay.
Those courses are flat. But I forgot the name of the courses in Charlotte, but it was fun. It was challenging. It was a different type of layout. The heat was beating down on us, but it's something I want to do more of. Those golfing excursions with crews of guys, and just be there to play and hang out afterwards, and get up the next morning, have some breakfast, and get out and play some more.
All right, sounds like a plan. Okay, so let me ask you. All right, let me go into this. What can you share, or we would like for you to share, a profound or funny event that has transpired as it relates to either on the course or just in your golfing experience?
Profound, and this is a bit tragic to be honest, but profound indeed. I had a dehydration episode this past season at Mohawk, and I was with James Celestine, Stan the Man, and Mad Rad. And I beat them all, by the way. Let me put that out there first. And
right.
they had me about you're right. We got to talk some trash.
That's right.
And, at the turn, they all had. I was down by 3 or 4 strokes on each one of them had a 2 to 3 stroke lead on me, and I always turn it up on the back nine if I'm in the right frame of mind. It was one of those 90-degree days, high noon. Okay. So we were out there. We were drinking. We were staying hydrated. Drinking enough water and juice. But I either didn't have enough, but what really tipped me over was just as we was wrapping up. It was at the 17th. Couple was in front of us. We allowed them to go ahead a couple times. So out of appreciation, as they finished the 17th, but to the 18th, they said, "Hey, you guys want a drink or blah blah blah?" And of course, we said, "Yeah, give me a beer." So I took a beer and finished the round. And the beer ultimately set my systems off because by the time we finished, went to the burger stand because James likes those big burgers at Mohawk, so he always treats. They're sitting at the 19th, I'm sipping my brew, which is warm by this time, and I started to, dehydrate. I was dehydrating, And ultimately, to make a long story short, I ended up passing out right at the little rest stop there, under next to the grill.
Yes.
And they didn't panic, but based on how they described my appearance and what was happening physically with me, they were really, really worried. I ended up calling the EMTs, and they got me iced down to cool my body off, and they said my eyes rolled back in my head, and I had a heat stroke basically.
Oh, okay.
A mini heat stroke. So they got me. The EMTs came. They couldn't transport me to Ellis Hospital until they got my body temperature down.
Okay.
So the women who the ownership, Spanish family, they helped me immensely by giving them ice, water, liquids, all just to get my body temperature down, because my skin was really dry and scaly and so on and so forth. Finally, I got to Ellis. It was about 6 o'clock in the evening on a Saturday, and I didn't leave Ellis Hospital until midnight that night. And all they did was running tests, and everything was fine. They just said the beer that I had set it off because of the dehydration. I had enough water, but because it was so hot and the alcohol content, they were. And it was a tragedy averted because of those 4 cats.
Wow.
James, Rad, and Stan. So at the next meeting, it was just before our preseason meeting, I mentioned to everybody at the meeting at Johnny's that the fellas is an acronym for faith, eternal love for the Lord, and salvation.
Yes.
And that never was more true than that round in Mohawk.
Wow.
And I tell people it was my faith, it was my fellas. It was my faith, eternal love for the Lord, and salvation that saved me that day.
Yes.
Because I was with guys who were in this concept called the fellas. And had they not been there, I may not be here. And that's as profound as it gets, I guess.
Yeah, that is true, man. I'm glad you were able to pull through.
Oh my goodness, man.
Believe me, that when that incident happened for you, word spread. It got around our community that Lou had a physical malady, and that what transpired, so everyone was sending their prayers and their blessings.
Yes, it were.
Yes, it was. It did get around. Yes, it did.
Yes. And to this day, I appreciate that. It was quite profound, to say the least. I guess the other part of that question what's the
funniest?
The funniest.
The hubris. Yeah, that's a good term.
The funniest is a lot of funny things because people are missing shots and they're like talking shit, and it's like, come on, man, slow players, all that. Playing with, God bless him, playing with Harold Barmore. Harold, when you played with Harold a couple times, Harold was the kind of person who you just wanted to play with because he would keep it moving or cuss you out, and he'll buy you a beer afterwards. But I think two things that were really, really hilarious. Amsterdam, myself, Rad, Stan, and I think James, because we usually play around the same time all the time. And Stan, who plays with the Top Flighters, or used to, and Rad, who used to play with the Top Flighters. I don't know how we got into the conversation about why Rad left the Top Flighters, but he said, and Stan's big, deep voice.
Yes.
he said, Lou. He said, I noticed you call Rad Mad Rad. I said, yeah, man. We just, because I like giving everybody a little tag name. He said, well, he really is mad all the time. I said, what do you mean? He said, he told me the story of the Top Fighters and how they was some had a discrepancy on the rule play or at a meeting or during one of their sessions on Schenectady Muni. And he said, Rad went off. And he started talking to Papa, right? Because they're both from Jamaica. Yeah. So he said, and so Stan was mocking Rad, and we just started laughing, man. we were laughing so loud that the course ranger had to come and ask us to kind of keep it down because of Stan's big voice. Stan has his big voice,
and he's very demonstrative. Yeah.
And he was just telling the story how Rad was ready to cuss everybody out because he didn't like what was being said or what was the rules they were discussing, and that was the last time Rad played with the Top Flighters. And every so often, Stan will bring that story up, and we'll fall out laughing all over again. The story behind Mad Rap. So that was funny. It's countless of funny episodes. But I guess the thing that's most humorous and most relevant to the story is how the concept of the fellas was brought about. And we were at Eagle Crest. This is like 2006, my first year playing. And we were drunk, man. It was me, Mike Mentis, Clee. I think Clee was with us. We were the 19th. We were like on our third pitcher. We were fired up, and we just started talking big money. I don't know if you know Big Money, but we just started talking about what we were doing in terms of playing golf at these different courses every week.
Yes,
and it just started to. My mind just started to churn because I said we should create our own league. We should go on tour. I mean, granted, I'm on my fourth or fifth beer.
I love that concept.
Oh man, and everybody was drunk, but said, yeah, let's do it. So from that 19-hole Eagle Crest experience, the Fellas Golf League was born because we were having such a good time with the fellowship, such a good time at the 19th hole. We were all played lousy. But we were having such a good time, and we were so in tune to the game and the competitiveness of the game. I pitched it, intoxicated as I was, and the moment I got home and got myself straightened up, I started crafting it.
Yeah,
I started drafting what we were talking about at the bar, and this is like 2007, 2008. And from that 19th hole conversation, the league evolved, and it's really still evolving because we were changing rules every week.
Yes.
No, we were like adding new stuff every week. But we got to a point where we say, listen, man, nobody's gonna take you out serious because you keep changing the rules. Yeah. But first of all, you're not even playing by the rules. Yeah. So I wanted to
did I even know the rules? You just made
half it up. Half of us did. And people were coming to me saying, well, look, what about this? I said, I really don't know. Yeah. This game is new to me, so let's ask this person.
Yeah. Go a little bit deeper into, briefly what is the Fellas concept and you gave us some backstory, but tell us the actual structure of in the direction that the Fellas go into.
Well,
that's different than traditional golf leagues.
Okay, that's a good question. Well, the is an acronym, as I mentioned: faith, eternal love for the Lord, and salvation. And from its inception, it was about getting people together. It wasn't a black golf league, but it was all brothers. So we our doors are open to anybody who wants to play. But the idea was not to be structured like any other golf league that people are accustomed to playing in. 9 holes, 1 course, Friday afternoon or Wednesday afternoon. I didn't want that. I didn't want that. I didn't want that. And when I pitched that to guys, they said, bet. We want to play different courses. We want to play 18 holes. We don't want to be tied into one course every week because it's great camaraderie and it's great familiarity. But as we mentioned, golf is a game of challenge. So people bought into the concept of different courses every week, 18 holes every week. The membership dues has always been about $100. And at the end of the day, if you're playing every week, you are paying more. But I think top flight is like $350, something like that. And that format and structure, probably like other leagues, is a great structure also because I know you have monthly tournaments. So that's something. The main concept was to do it differently. The main concept was to be an on-tour league. The main concept was to not so much do what other people hadn't done, but because everybody enjoyed playing different courses in 18 holes, that's what really drove the format and the structure. And it's blossomed from that. We started off with 8 cats. We're literally up to 40 guys as we approach our 17th season, the first weekend in May. We're going to have a meeting, matter of fact, March 2nd at Johnny's. Okay. So I'll be sending, I think I already sent it out. I'll be sending out another one soon.
Let me say the two things that I appreciate about the Fellas League and why I participate is the one thing is you get to play 18 holes. And because, for the most part, a lot of us are jumping out the car, running to the first tee. So
Right.
we utilize the first 2 or 3 holes as like warm-up sessions. You know what I'm
Right.
saying?
Oh,
Because
yeah.
that's just life comes at you, so you have to deal with life on life terms.
That's right.
And then the other thing that I really appreciate is the flexibility. You
Yes.
can play Friday or Saturday,
Yes.
just as
Yes.
long as
Yes.
you're playing with someone from the league that can attest your scores.
Yes.
And the flexibility, because we're all professionals with families and different
Yes.
commitments.
Yeah.
You can play during the week,
That's it.
long
That's
as
it.
it's at the course that is
That's it.
assigned for that week, and
That's
you
it.
playing with someone who's in the league.
Those 2 concepts, 18 holes, 3 concepts, 18 holes, different courses, and the flexibility. And once that was pushed out there, it was unstoppable. People ate it up because of everything you just said. People are working, they have commitments, they have childcare, they have spouse, they got to cut the lawn, it might be rent, life.
Yes.
And if I can get my 18 in a Monday morning and my weekend is clear because I'm traveling, then let me grab somebody to attest the score.
Yep.
And that blew people away. But we even with that, we got into some debates with some cats. Because one cat mentioned once, he said, well, you can't, the weather conditions might be different on Monday. I said, I can't control God, man.
Despite our best effort, we can't.
I said, listen, that's true.
Yeah.
And one brother said, the courses are manicured differently. They're groomed better earlier in the week. By weekend, it's been worn. I said, that's what flexibility means.
That's true.
So those weren't major hurdles. That was just statements made at a given meeting that we addressed, and we said we can't control that. But everybody unanimously, even the cats who felt indifferent about the weather and when the course is in its best condition, bought in because it accommodated their schedule. And you don't have to play. I think we do miss the fellowship and the camaraderie playing together all the time.
Yes.
But we can make amends for that. In some cases, we both know this, I'd rather play with 2 or 3 guys every weekend, or 1 or 2 guys or they have their set foursome every weekend. And that's fine as well. Because sometimes the chemistry needs to be good. It needs to be a good mix. Some cats can't stand each other. And sometimes you got to balance those personalities. I've had cats who were scheduled to play together and they wouldn't show because they don't want to play with said person. I said,
we know that to be true.
Yeah, that's how it is.
I always use the term, we could be sometimes the most difficult people there is. We can't even agree that we need air to breathe. So imagine if you add some competitiveness to it on top of any other isms you want associated with it. There's going to be some points of contention.
Right, absolutely.
Yeah, but I would, once again, I'm gonna take my hat off to you again. Lou, there has not been a person that I've been involved from a professional standpoint, recreational standpoint, and a social standpoint that deals with the things and manages the personalities, the attitudes, the playing level, the competitiveness amongst our group of people better than you do.
Oh man, that's beautiful.
And we interact and interface with a lot of people from a lot of different disciplines and walks of life. But as it relates to this right here, I will put you on the Mount Rushmore of management. This is no lie, Lou. In terms of managing personalities.
Oh man,
still pushing the ball down the fairway, so to speak. I'll use that term.
Right.
As effective and as efficient as you do.
Man, that's. I'm humbled, brother, because and thank you so much for that. That means those comments really mean the world to me. One, because they're coming from you, somebody who I've admired over the years as a student, as a man who takes care of his family and has overcome his own personal obstacles, because we all have personal obstacles. I've known you for a long time, but to share that with me particularly at this point in life where I'm about to step away from this full-time work, is, and I tell people this all the time, I haven't done anything, or I don't do anything what I consider to be special. And that's even when it comes to the Fellas Golf League or Hudson Valley Community College. But if one considers that what you just shared and the work I've been able to do at Hudson Valley special or important, then I'll accept that as being special and important. And I will say this, it comes effortlessly because it's DNA, it's gift. I get the same comments from my colleagues at work, your former student of mine.
Yes, yep.
And the same, what you see and hear as part of the Fellas Golf League is how I've managed work at Hudson Valley for 37 years. And people are perplexed by it, like, you always got this even keel, the Zen quality. And I think, I had to look up what Zen meant once when somebody said Zen quality. And I said to myself, I didn't research that. I didn't do my theses on managing people. It's very natural. Yes. And for it to be recognized in individuals' own words is a testament to my parents, testament to God, who I put first and foremost all the time. But I was raised in humble beginnings, man, in a humble environment. And I always was told, don't get caught up with yourself and don't expect something for doing what you're supposed to be doing. Working for sure is what I'm supposed to be working. I'm supposed to have worked and be working to provide.
Yes.
I'm supposed to treat people well. I'm supposed to listen, to learn, to lead. And that's all this is really at those meetings. Johnny's, it's not Lou Coplin's league. It's everybody around the table's league. And we decide and we vote on what format and what structure we're going to utilize. I mean, the ideas come up from different people, but I'm not deciding on anything. I'm saying, let's see what the majority thinks. So everything that we do, golf league wise, everything I've been able to accomplish on campus and in community has not been decisions made in silos. It's been like, well, what do y'all think? Or let's try this. Yeah. Any comments or opinions or criticisms? And once that's out there, it empowers people first and foremost. Yes. People look at it as, oh, let me hear what this brother's saying because he's asking me. He's not telling me. I'm paying dues, but he's still asking me.
But I'm going to say, you perfected the art of that. And I have to tell you that 100%. But I think a lot of that, those attributes is because of your faith. I know you're a man of faith. And when I look at you, what comes to mind is, Lou, every day, whether it be in your professional capacity or even as your role as the director of the or the president of the golf league, you embody doing God's work on earth. You get to make a difference in the lives of people every day for a very long time. And that's whether it be a 10-second, 20-second interaction with a student or someone you happen to come across your path that needs some information or direction, or managing, a millionaire learning how to play golf who's always been an alpha in terms of their own professional development and career aspirations. You've been able to shape and mold that student that's 18 years old that just graduated from high school to a golfer that we play with that's the president and CEO of a multi-million dollar business or venture, in the same effortless commitment. Right. So I definitely got to take my tap my hat to you, Lou, and that's a skill set, and it's a characteristic that as a result of our interactions, I try to run with. I may have never said it to you, but I see certain things in you and I say, I can take that attribute and incorporate it not only into my personal development and things that I do, but also translate it to on the golf course. Because I've never seen you get higher than high and lower than low, regardless of what's transpiring around you.
Mm.
And so I once again I just want to say that to you.
Thank you, man. I appreciate it. I genuinely appreciate it. I have a saying that somebody wrote down, and I don't. It's not. I can't take credit for it being an original. I read it someplace. I'm never down. I'm either up or getting up.
I like that.
That just resonates with me when I read it the first time. I didn't even have to write it down. I just remembered it, and I know what that means to me and to everybody who hears it is, unless you're dead, life can be dynamically troublesome. But if you're thinking along the lines of, I'm never down from it, I'm either up or getting up. And that's golf.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
The bad shot, I'm not down, I'm either up or I'm getting up. And that resonates with a lot of people. Thank you, man. I so much appreciate that.
No problem. So, Lou, speaking of golf, what's in your bag? What clubs do you play? Do you play a mixed bag? Do you play all of one brand? You give me
I'm looking at my club right now.
In your bag.
Well, this past season was my best season.
Okay.
I mean, I
saw the numbers. I can attest to that. I saw the numbers.
I see, your game is you're like easily 10 strokes minimum better than my game. So let's just put that out there.
I think I should practice more.
Well, I'm coming after you because I'm retired, and
that's right. That's right.
I've been telling people all the last 4 months, guys who go off, I'm seeing GIR, greens and regulations. So that's what I'm coming after.
Okay.
But this past season, my best season, B flight is incredibly competitive, and but I score some of my lowest scores. And I'm looking over at my clubs. Up until last season, I always had a mixed bag.
Okay.
Tour or had a Callaway something, something from Walmart. By the way, don't ever go to Walmart for your clubs. All right, I did that. I did that one year, trying to get my money back, and they wouldn't take it.
Okay.
Because the only thing that works with the Walmart clubs, maybe the putter. Everything else is hollow, man. It's like,
okay, gotcha.
There's no ping or bing or nothing. It's just nothing. Like, where'd you get these?
You feel like you hit with a beer can.
The beer can would go further.
Yeah, crush one.
Crush it, yeah, right? But up until my wife got me a set of clubs, and they're not, because I had that Keith check them out, and he said, well, you'll be okay with these, but they're top flight gamers. Okay. So they're not high end top flight, but they're better than I ever had. Yeah. And the point I'm making is this, because it's the first time I've played with the same name brand. Yeah. Hold on 1 second. Oh man. So here's an example. In my old bag prior to last Christmas, I had an XG high tech. I had a XP affinity, and I got a Callaway 8-iron. So all of those clubs have some value.
Okay.
But I recognize that because they're all different name brands, you can't be consistent. Because you're talking about different weights, different styles, different qualities of clubs. So this set, I have this Top Flight or Gamer name brand has been my first common club bag.
Okay.
And I showed it demonstrated itself during the season because I hit the ball better than I ever had before with consistency.
They say some people say sometimes it's the arrow and sometimes it's the archer. But what you're saying is if you put a good arrow in a good archer's hands, you're going to get a good result.
Right. That along with the fact that we're saying this, it's a mind game. So now I'm thinking that it's the common name brand. So that helps the game as well. Yeah. I truly believe that's part and parcel of the main reason why the game improved this past year, because of the common the common club name brand as opposed to a mixed bag.
Okay, so what's your go-to club? What's your favorite club? You got your whether it be off the tee from the fairway, that the club you can grab when you need to produce a quality shot.
I like the hybrid, I like the 5 hybrid.
That's your go-to club.
That's the go-to. Is to get out a jam club I can hit it off the box. I get pretty much the same distance as the 3 wood, and sometimes even the driver. But is the 5 for distance, and then it's the 7 and or the 9, depending on how far away I am. And then once I get on, I'm good with the putter. 2 putt, sometimes a 3 putt. But if I can get down to 1 to 2 putt, or just get it close enough to 1 putt, then my score is going to improve. But I usually do the driver off the box because I want to be comfortable with the driver.
Okay.
A safer club off the box would be the 5. I can hit the 3. Then I'll keep the 5. I'll probably be halfway down the fairway. Keep the 5 in the hand. Whack it again. And if I'm swinging well, I can get right there.
Okay, sounds good. All right, Lou, we're going to transition into a phase that we call rapid fire. And in this segment, I'm gonna ask you a question and give you 1 or 2 options. You got to choose 1 or 2, and if you can briefly if need be, you could describe why you chose that particular thing. Okay.
Okay.
All right. So we're gonna start the rapid fire with, of course, the name of the media platform is called Driver to Wedge. So first question is driver or wedge?
Wedge.
Okay. Ride or walk?
Walk.
Okay. Practice or play?
Practice.
In your watching of the game of golf, do you prefer to watch men or women?
No, I'm home by myself. Women, because women, and seriously, fundamentally, I think you can gain more from them. They're more fundamentally sound, nicer outfits, but that's the male side of me. But men for sure, but women, I think fundamentally, you can gain more from them because they're not trying to kill it.
Yes,
but they're hitting it far. They're sharp. They're sharpshooters.
Okay. Next one. If you had an opportunity during an 18-hole round of golf, to hit every fairway consistently between 250 and 270, because the average golfer doesn't show average around 220 off the tee. We like to say we hitting it 300, but believe me, only 2% of the population is. So consistent 250 to 270, middle of the fairway off the tee, or to make every 10-foot putt. Which one would you choose?
Every 10-foot putt.
Okay.
Every 10-foot putt.
Okay.
Because I can get there. I can get there. I can get there in the intermediate shots. I got to improve the putt. I'm not trying to outdistance anybody. I just can't. Okay. If I can get on and get green the regulations and hit a 10-foot putt, I'm scoring. I'm in the conversation.
Okay. All right. Good point. Do you bring food to the golf course, or do you buy it, or you buy food or snacks, or do you buy at the course, either in the clubhouse or from the cart girl?
I'm always bringing my own stuff because one, I'm frugal like that. Okay. 2, I don't want to eat too much. I prefer a snack. And then if cats want to hang out at the 19th, then I'll eat. But I'm always bringing something with me just to keep it moving. Okay.
All right. Shorts or pants?
Depending on how hot it is. If it's 90 degrees, I'm shorts. When we open up in May, I'll probably have pants on because it's still gonna be chilly. But shorts during the course of the summer.
Okay. Now this is a bonus question because of the big talking point in golf right now is the live golf versus the PGA. Right. I surmised it to people loyalty to the PGA. To me, is solely based on the majors, having the ability to play in the major championships, and those only four of those a year. It's not necessarily about the Vallejo Open or the Sun Chip Classic. Right. My legacy is going to be built around the majors. Right. And live golf is about that money.
Right.
Generational wealth from a golfing perspective, not your own personal motivation.
Right.
Generational wealth with live golf or legacy in terms of winning major tournaments.
I would go with generational wealth. why? Because it really is about money, and it goes back to football. It goes back to sport, the other sports. Like when the Bills lose, one of my ways I get beyond it is those guys are getting paid still. They're still getting paid. They're still very, very wealthy. I mean, more than I will ever have. So they may be heartbroken, but they're still getting paid. Same with regarding the Live League and the PGA. Get 4 majors that a handful of cats are going to win. Who will even be in the conversation to win, unless there's a surprise. But if you can go to the Live tournament because they're still trying to make a name for themselves and get guaranteed $100 million to show, I'll show. I'll show. Okay. Give me that money because it's about money. It's about generational wealth. It's about and still being competitive. And ultimately, I think they got a deal in place now where they're gonna combine forces. But get that money. Get that money.
I solely believe, and I said this I have a segment on the network on our platform, and it talks about the Live Golf versus the PGA, but it's even streamlined it, money versus majors. And I believe anytime you put billionaires in the room with other billionaires, they're gonna find a way to make it make sense.
Make that money, exactly. That and it comes from a Black perspective also. We're not monolithic in our perspectives. We're all distinctly different, but where we are, what we have in common, many of us, most of us, is we come from some humble beginnings, and it's not so much about fame, if ever. It's about money. It's about generational. What can we make while we're here, whatever we're doing? Live a good life and pass it on to those called our children and next generation. So yeah, absolutely, generational wealth.
Okay, Lou, last one. I'm gonna get you out of here on this. What is your golf goal? Because we live in the Northeast, so anywhere from November to around April, we're kind of shut down a little bit. What is your golf goal going into next season?
Next season,
let me cut you off, Lou. And the reason why I asked that because I heard this from Jack, and he said golf is a goal, a target oriented sport. You should always have a goal, and you should always be shooting towards a target, even in your practice and everything you do in your walk. In terms of your golf development, you should have obtainable, comprehensive, reachable goals.
Okay, fair question. I like to be a regular breaker of 90.
Okay.
I want to be in that category for this upcoming year and beyond. But I want to be recognized as, well, I want people to say, what did Lou hit? I want people to say,
what did Lou score? What did Lou score?
I want to break 90 regularly, and if I'm 91, 92, that's called a bad round.
Okay.
So that's one thing. I want to get on the greens and regulation. I want to make that 10-foot putt. I want to be a force to be reckoned with amongst the Fellas Golf League. But I do want to continue to build the league. I want to enhance the competitiveness, and I want to break up B flight a little bit. But personally, I want to break 90 with greater frequency, and maybe even jump to A flight before at some point in time.
Okay.
I'm coming in with a 22 handicap, so I got to shave three strokes off the handicap or the handicap this year to get to that next year, the following year. But if not, it'll be fun. The journey will be fun.
Yes.
So I look forward to that.
Yeah. All right, Lou. I want to thank you for taking the time out. Thank you for contributing. Thank you for being supportive from the time we first shook hands.
Yes, sir.
Many years ago.
I
was a non-traditional student on your campus. Once again, thank you so very much. I look forward to continue interactions, continue communication, and continue growth with you. Okay.
Yes. Likewise, my friend. Those feelings are mutual, and let's live our best life, man.
Yes. So for all those watching, I'd like to conclude this segment of Driving the Wedge with Mr. Lou Coplin by saying we appreciate everyone. Like and subscribe. Continue to support our social media platform. And always remember, golf is not just a game. It's a way of life, and it's what we affectionately like to call the culture of golf or the golf culture. All right. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you. Take care, folks.